now at 51, there's more years behind me than are ahead of me. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago where I was going to go, I probably would have said I'll probably stop in the next few years. But then AEW started and it just rejuvenated everything for me.
What's going on, guys? This is Brian Jones from PopCulture.com. And joining me today is a pro wrestling legend. You know him from WCW, WWE, even New Japan, and currently AEW. But he's now taking his skills to the kitchen in a new episode of Fast Foodies. Chris Jericho. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Yeah, taking my skills to the kitchen, which is basically lack of skills. But yeah, when the idea of Fast Foodies kind of came across my proverbial desk, it's not like I set out and said, oh, well, the one thing I haven't done is be on a cooking show, but it was something that was very intriguing, very interesting to me, because I find much like when I did Dancing with the Stars, or, if you go and create an NFT or whatever it may be, it's all art. Being a pro wrestler is art. Being a musician is art. And being a chef is art as well. So being a part of Fast Foodies helped me kind of really lock into that and gain a whole new respect for what it is that great chefs do.
Absolutely. And that new episode will premiere Thursday, February 3rd at 10 p.m. Eastern on truTV. And you're working with three well-known chefs, Jeremy Ford, Kristen Kish, and Justin Sutherland. How is it working with those three?
Well, obviously, this is the second season of the show, so they know exactly what they're doing. They have great chemistry, which is why they're on TV. They're very charismatic, a lot of personality there. So whenever I get into a situation like that, you just blend right in. And that's one thing for me, almost being kind of a show business chameleon, is I can fit in anywhere. And as the guest, obviously, they're catering to you, no pun intended, and want to make you feel comfortable. But it works both ways. Obviously, I have 30 years of television experience, so I know how to control the narrative of what we want the camera to see and make it entertaining. Make an entertaining episode as well. So working with them was awesome. They're all very good at what they do, and that's another thing I love when you go into this. I don't know these guys and girls. I've never seen them or met them before in my life. I'm not a fan of chef shows, as in I don't watch them, and that's fine. There's people, they probably don't watch wrestling in a lot of cases. So when you go there, you instantly realize these guys are really good at what they do. I like her attitude. I like his attitude. I like how they all have characters. It's part of, that's part of the show. And it's cool and interesting to figure that out kind of on the fly when you hit the ground running and just jump right into it when the cameras are rolling. And that's where I think the true magic for a show like this emanates from.
Of course. And the whole premises of the show is these judges competing against each other, creating their celebrity's favorite dish. So without giving anything away, how do you think the judges did when it comes to creating your favorite dish?
Well, it's not even your favorite dish. It's your favorite dish from fast food, right? So
right.
Take I'll do a Whopper or chicken McNuggets. And I was going through a big Cracker Barrel phase. So I thought, well, let's see if we can do a Cracker Barrel Mama's pancake breakfast of those amazing pancakes that Cracker Barrel has with the apple topping and the turkey sausage and the eggs. And then they do their version of it, a reasonable facsimile of this original, meal. And then once you do that, then they do their version of it, which is a completely different, gourmet creation where they use elements of the flavors. And that's where the true artistry comes in. So they did a great job. And that's where I really started thinking this is amazing how they have these talents to do this. It's like, hey, Chris, can you cook us dinner? And I can do, barbecue some steaks and put some macaroni and cheese on the pot. And there's your dinner from me, where they're like, there's essence of apple. And this has a little bit of a taste of the spices that you have in the turkey sausage, but it's not turkey sausage. So when you're eating this completely different dish that still kind of has elements of the taste of just the scrambled eggs and the turkey sausage, you're like, they're taking things to a completely different level. And that's why the show works, because they can do that. And they do that on a weekly basis. So it was really interesting to see what they came up with and how they were able to emulate those tastes and textures and foods, basically by creating something completely different.
Absolutely right. And I got a chance to see an exclusive clip of you working with the chefs, trying to crack an egg. After this whole experience, do you have, and I know you're not a fan of cooking shows, but do you have more of a desire to do some more cooking when you have time?
I don't think so. Like when I did Dance with the Stars, it was amazing. And as soon
Yeah.
as I was eliminated after 7 weeks, people said, well, are you going to go dancing now? It's like, no, absolutely not. Like I know 7 dances and I practice for them, for a week, and you get it down and you do it and you appreciate the art of it. But it's not like I'm not going to dancing, at the Coba on a Friday night or anything like that. It's the same with my experiences on Fast Foodies. I leave that to the pros, and worship them from afar. And once again, it was a great experience. And I'm glad I haven't seen any clips. So I'm glad that you saw the one, because I do know now how to crack an egg with one hand. So that's my cooking skill. So if I'm ever on the phone, I can now crack an egg while I'm on the phone. So I've got that going for me, which I didn't have before.
Awesome, man. Well, just a few more questions before I let you go. Just switching gears a little bit. You're obviously part of AEW. You joined AEW when it launched in 2019. When it comes to other places you competed, what's been the biggest difference with AEW and other promotions?
Well, I think the biggest thing with AEW is we started from scratch and took a chance to really see if we could make it work. And it did, less than or just over 2 years later, we're now, the hottest wrestling company in the world today with a huge, massive television deal that's just going to grow, as we grow. And I think that's the biggest change. Is this was really on my back at first to get this up and running off the ground. And I knew it was taking a chance, but I knew if it was a success, it's another feather in Jericho's legacy and helping change the wrestling business forever, for the better as well. If it didn't work, well, then, you lick your wounds and go back. But if you don't try something, you'll never know what could have happened. And now we know what could have happened. So that's the biggest difference for me, is I feel like I have a stake in AEW because I was here from day one and was one of the main factors why we were able to get it off the ground to such a huge level and so quickly. So I take great pride in that. And I'm very, very happy with what we've been able to do with the company in, like I said, such a short period of time.
You're right about that. AEW has grown dramatically with Dynamite now on TBS and the Friday show Rampage, then Dark and Dark Elevation on YouTube. So where do you see AEW going in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see it continue to grow and possibly be the top wrestling promotion out there?
Well, in my opinion, what is the top wrestling promotion? I think we already are, as far as in-ring product and entertaining shows, storylines, characters, etc. If you're looking at will AEW overtake, WWE as the wrestling brand in North America? I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's not something that we ever really think about or worry about. All we're worried about is continuing to grow our fan base, which we are. Grow and continue to improve and create amazing stories, which we do. And like I said, I think, everything now is based on television revenue. And, when I call myself the demo god, it's not a gag. I mean, we really are killing it in the demos, which equals higher television contracts when this current one expires in a few years. So ask me in a couple of years if we're going to be, the most dominant promotion. I know we'll be making, a hell of a lot more money than we are right now, which will enable us to continue to put on the best wrestling product in the world today, which is what we're already doing. So we're already a success, but it will grow double and triple over the next few years from a financial basis for sure. I really believe that. And I think the creative continues to follow that as well.
And the last question for me before I let you go is, you put together a legendary career, have won a lot of championships in your career. So I wanted to ask you, but how long do you see yourself competing in pro wrestling? Or is that something you've thought about?
You don't really think about it. I mean, obviously now at 51, there's more years behind me than are ahead of me. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago where I was going to go, I probably would have said, I'll probably stop in the next few years. But then AEW started and it just rejuvenated everything for me. So, not that there's any comparison, but I think I'm kind of taking on like the Undertaker role in the WWE for his last few years there, where every time he does something, it's impactful. It means something. He's a benefit to have in the locker room. He's a leader. He's very experienced. He can tell guys and girls what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And it's just a good person to have around your roster. And I think that's kind of where I'm transitioning to now. You can see the first couple of years in AEW, especially the first year, was based on Chris Jericho, on me being the champion, and the Inner Circle feuding with the Elite, and all the stuff we did up until basically the first Stadium Stampede, and then feuding with the Pinnacle and MJF for the second year. And now, CM Punk is here, and Bryan Danielson is here, and Adam Cole is here, and Jungle Boy is becoming more of what we always knew he would be, and Darby Allin, and that sort of thing. So I like that idea of going from the top guy to making new stars, to where now there's a lot of top guys, to being kind of, I don't know, the Babe Ruth of the company or whatever it may be, but not where I'm not contributing still at a very high level. So when will I stop? I don't have a deadline on that, but there's a lot more you can do than just being in the ring as time marches on. So I think my presence in AEW will be felt for many years to come, for all those reasons that I just explained, because there's a lot more to do with our company and with Chris Jericho and AEW.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to all that. Chris, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to you on the episode of Fast Foodies. Good luck to everything in AEW, and continued success.